What's up? It's the Hoof Live. What's good, fellas?
What's
How y'all
going
doing?
on? 3-0,
happening?
baby. Feeling pretty good. Took my heart medication, thank God. But I'm doing pretty well on this Victory Monday.
Oh, it
Bills,
feels good. Feels great. Can't
you,
wait to share. Oh man, I got so much to say.
for our new fans, or those of us who've been following us, we are currently on a different network, and we are proudly with Cover One Network as of materialized last week. So we are pumped. We're excited to give you guys the goods, and this is the Hoof Live, man. So, like we always say, follow, like, subscribe. You got to hoof that like because what's about to go down tonight. Okay, I'm Sterling. Okay, you got Anthony on the top side. We got my boy Eric down below with this little Cover One graphic.
That's pretty good, huh? That's pretty good, huh?
Who drew that for you, bro?
I drew it, but it took me 3 hours.
It took you 3 hours to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not an artist, if anybody's wondering.
Well, we know that, but your wife is an artist, though. She's an artist. She gets it done, bro.
She definitely.
But for those of you who are new to the show, this is more of a fan interaction driven show. We like to get into some of the nitty gritty. We kind of just flow with it. We talk about things that happen with the game. We kind of look forward to the next week and so forth. But like I said, the fans, you guys drive the show. I come up with topics that these guys have not even seen. So we'll kind of get into them. It's kind of put them on the hot spot, see kind of what they're thinking, where their head's at, kind of catch them off guard a little bit, and we kind of go from there. So, fellas, are you ready for tonight? New platform, new stage. Are you sure you're ready? Okay, here we go.
Always ready.
All right, so we go around the NFL. We go, what's popping? What's popping? We just go around the league. We talk about the latest and the greatest. And the first topic of the night, fellas. Okay. The fall of Carson Wentz. Now, as we all know, if you were to do your quarterback rankings prior to the season, looking back at last season, you saw Carson Wentz has kind of been he's been up and down in his career. He had flashes of probably should have won the MVP season when he tore his ACL against the Rams a few years ago. Last year, he was kind of surrounded by they had a lot of injuries, right? And Carson Wentz was the engine of that offense. They do question his leadership at times, right? We've heard things from the locker room that players have said about Carson Wentz, that he's a perfectionist, blah, blah, blah. But this year, my boy Carson Wentz, his completion percentage is a 59.8. He's got 3 touchdowns and interceptions. Now, we do know that the Eagles did draft a quarterback in the second round, Jalen Hurts. Now, when that happened, I didn't think, okay, I was like, why are you taking him? I mean, he's really not that good, right? I mean, he's Oakland, Jalen Hurts. It's Jalen Hurts. You got Carson Wentz. Why are you going to do that? But this year, he's kind of been terrible. Is this the end of my boy Carson Wentz in Philadelphia? Eric, you go first.
I'm going to say no, because I think Carson Wentz is extremely talented. I just think they lost their identity, and this might be an impact of the COVID season, right? Maybe they didn't handle it as a coaching staff, maybe as good as other teams. And I think maybe you're seeing the result of that. I know he only has, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. They can't win a game. I mean, that Cincinnati game was brutal in overtime. They didn't take advantage of their opportunities. But I feel like they just, with the injuries that they had on the O-line, they've lost their identity. They don't know who they are. It seems like they just want to throw the ball to Dallas Goedert and then watch him get pounded. And that's their whole identity, and that's just not sustainable. So I think they'll find their groove, as the season goes on. And I think Carson Wentz is just too talented to move on for him.
Okay. All right. Anthony, I know you got something to say over there.
Well, I mean, I think it's definitely too early to say he's gone. He's fallen, but he's certainly falling. And from where he was in the preseason, probably ranked as most people's top 10 quarterback list for sure. And this guy, his team is over on the year, no wins. I mean, sure, you tied against the Cincinnati Bengals? Like, oh man, that's rough. And sure, he's dealing with some wide receiver injuries. He doesn't have all the guys that they brought in to make an electric offense and speedy wide receivers. But at some point, the quarterback's got to get it done a little bit at least. I mean, if you're a top 10 quarterback, you've still got legitimate receivers. You're not the 2018 Bills. You've got legitimate receivers on that team. So, I mean, I don't understand it for sure. I'm shocked by it, but it's certainly, if this keeps up, we may be seeing Jalen Hurts before we all thought. That's okay. For sure.
Yeah. All right.
And let's not forget, he's injury prone too. So if he gets injured and Jalen Hurts comes in and starts playing well, now you've got yourself a quarterback controversy that nobody saw coming, at least not this early.
All right. So before we even, and I appreciate what you guys had to say, before we even continue on with the show, can we just start with some of the comments in the chat? Because this is kind of, first of all, Elliot Eisler, what's up, dude? That's our guy right there. That's our guy. And I don't know if they're calling me Big Black or something. I don't know who they're talking about. Maybe it's not even me. Okay.
It must be somebody in the chat, probably.
Right. But for those of you who don't know, okay. Now, my guy Anthony up here, he wears a suit all the time. All the time. He probably wears it to bed. He probably goes to work in it. I mean, you will see this cat with the suit all the freaking time. Okay.
It does get dry cleaned.
It does get
clear that up because you're wearing the suit 4 times a week. Like, we got to know how you clean it.
Occasionally
it definitely gets clean. Don't worry about that.
Anthony has the Legend of the Tramp stamp on his back for a Buffalo Bills logo. It lives on. It still lives on. But anyway,
no tattoos, but okay.
I'm just giving context because context is important. Context is very important in what we're doing. Okay, so that's just hilarious, Anthony. But back to Carson Wentz. So it's kind of been an up and down, and I think that it's probably time for. I just don't think, a second round pick and Jalen Hurts is probably going to get the job done. I think, if you're 0-3 right now, I mean, who knows what the rest of your season is going to look like. Aaron Quinn brought up a good one. He's our guy here. He said, where's this comment at? He said the offensive line is bad. Yeah, man, they've had a ton of injuries so far. A ton of injuries to the offensive line. It's really not helping. How can you depend on an old Deshaun Jackson? Injury prone. I mean, he's injury prone. We don't know when he's going to show up. Who's the other wide receiver that they have? Guy used to play for the Bears. God.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey, man. Where has he been? Can we talk about that? Jalen Reagor has been hurt. I mean, it's just one of those. It's one of the things you hate to see. Now that we have a budding superstar in Josh Allen, you just don't want that kind of fate to take your team. You know what I'm saying? But it's something to keep an eye on for the rest of the season. So we'll keep an eye on Carson Wentz.
Offensive line play too. I mean, they had 2 injuries in the preseason
for sure.
That ended up, they brought Jason Peters back out of retirement to play left tackle, right? So
no, he's playing guard. He's playing guard.
He was originally going to play guard. They had another injury, and now he's back at tackle, I believe.
Wow.
So they brought him in because they lost their guard. Then they had another injury, and now he's back at tackle.
It's a hot mess over there, bro. Yeah. All right, next up. Go ahead, Eric. You got something else?
I think they got to look at their training staff maybe because they had this problem last year. They had like something like 10 to 12 injuries.
For sure.
All starters last season, and that's probably the reason they weren't a dominant team. But I still think they're a playoff contender because maybe a 5-10 team or a 5-11 team gets into the playoffs from that division.
I mean, that division is pretty bad. It's pretty bad right now.
Somebody's got to win it, but who knows where it's going to end up. But speaking of injuries, though, we've seen huge injuries across the league. We have to give another shout out to the Bills health and wellness management team because the facilities we know are awesome in Buffalo, and they've really done well with dealing with injuries and preventing injuries, and a lot of that has to do with that the team and the facilities we have. And man, we're so far, knock on wood, they've avoided for 2 years now. So when all these major injuries are happening all over, and we have had our fair share of injuries too. With both our linebackers questionable for this game time decision.
For sure.
And we're going to talk about their play in this game in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, shout out to the Bills and the way they deal with the health and wellness of the players because it's top notch in the NFL.
No, for sure. And my guy Chris Janke in the house. Hey, Chris Janke, that's my dude right there. He says, Sterling, Anthony, Eric, glad to see you guys back on YouTube. Missed you guys. Yo, we miss you too. We took a week off last week. I'm doing Scouting Academy, and it's a beast. Anthony and his wife are having kids. Eric's got a million things going on. So, we just kind of needed a week to recalibrate since we're coming to the new network and so forth. So we're back. We are back. So we are, man, thrilled to see everybody. We got Let's Talk 716 Sports in here. He says, what's up, Anthony? Anthony, you just got a little following in here, man. Everybody just loves Anthony, bro. I'm a little jealous, but that's okay, bro. It's all right. Let him have it. Let him have it. Let him have it. All right, next topic. Here we go. You guys ready? Alvin Kamara is back. Whoa. 6 carries, 58 yards, 13 receptions for a running back for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. Did you guys see the 52-yard touchdown that he had?
Yes.
That was amazing. It looked like that. It was slow motion. He was different gears. It was incredible to see. So I loved seeing Alvin Kamara do his thing, man, because he doesn't get enough credit as being one of the top backs in the NFL. And last night on Sunday Night Football, he got to display that. What are your thoughts? Anthony, go first.
Yeah, the impressive, you talked about that 54-yard touchdown, the one he caught and ran, and the center came down and made a block in front of him, ran in front of him. He kind of slowed down to let him make the block, but I was impressed with that. They said it on the call there, but it was pretty fun to watch that play develop. And this is what happens when Michael Thomas isn't playing, right? Drew Brees has to find somebody he trusts, and yesterday that was Alvin Kamara, and he made a day of it. He caught the passes, even when they were short passes for 5 yards or something. It was, he was going to Kamara. That's the guy he was looking for, and he found him. That game didn't end too well for the New Orleans Saints, as we know. The Green Bay still won, and it was back and forth all day. But yeah, Kamara definitely kept him in that game.
Yeah, did Kamara go anywhere, or did I miss something? He's been good this whole time.
He's still been a star,
I just think they kind of phased him out of their game plan a little bit, but they had other options. With Michael Thomas out, that's not the case anymore. And, is this Saints team a real contender? They're now 1-2. They've had a really difficult schedule. And I think moving forward, if they don't get Michael Thomas back, Kamara will be the focus all day.
Yeah, hey. He's legit, man. And I think that you're right. Nobody wants to pay that running back. Although we did see before the season that, 3 or 4 running backs got contracts, not like the Zeke contract. That was just crazy. But the fact that, you're right. They did kind of phase him out of the offense. He was dealing with injuries last year. I think that's part of it too. And Michael Thomas had a record year. So Michael Thomas is injured, as we all know. So, I guess, that their plan was to feed Kamara. And then you got Drew Brees, who I think a lot of people are kind of like, okay, Drew, he's kind of his arm is not what it used to be, and it never was a really strong arm. So he's kind of limited physically in some areas, as we saw last night. Even though they didn't get the win, I really do think the Saints. I think they're a good team. I really love the way their defense played. Even though they gave up 37 points, but they swarmed the ball. I do like that. It was just a great game. It was a fun game to watch. I didn't get a heart attack like I did the Bills game, but shit, it was a lot of fun. So, But moving on. And before we go, subscribe and hit that like button. Hoof that like, man.
Go.
You got to hoof the like, bro. We are here giving you the goods, bro. We're giving you the goods. And people in here saying like, yo, liking and subscribe is free. Somebody said that in the chat, and I'm like, damn, you know what? You are right. It is free. It is free to like and subscribe, people. Okay. Everybody is tight on money because COVID and whatever the hell, just life in general. But this is free, baby. Enjoy this. This is fun. Cover One is the business, y'all. If you want great content, man, the team that we're on right now is really incredible. Seriously, man. These guys are professional through and through, man. And so, like I said, we are pumped to be a part of this network. So moving right along, like I said, hoof that like, baby. Okay, Anthony, this one's going to trigger you. So I'm going to go with Eric on this next one. And then I'm going to get you next. All right. Here we go. Are the Patriots for real? Because they defeated the Raiders 36-20. There was a lot of hoopla about, John Gruden and these Raiders, led by, we all know who the quarterback is. I'm not a big fan of Derek Carr. I think he's Captain Checkdown reincarnated and Trent Edwards, but that's just me, okay? But the Patriots did win. Okay, and that's something that we have to discuss because I mean, as we all know, they are in our division, and it's going to be a really Belichick is.
I'm not gonna wait on this one. I can't.
You can't wait. You got to be rooting.
I'm itching because I have one question. Who's the best player on the Raiders on their offense? Who's the best player on Josh Jacobs? Who's the second best player on the Raiders offense?
Waller.
Darren Waller, right? Yeah. Who's the third best player on the Raiders offense?
Hudson.
I would argue it's Henry Ruggs because he brings the dynamic to that team.
He didn't even play yesterday.
Dynamic. None of them did. The two were injured and one was out. And none of them did anything.
Their center.
So you're trying to say you beat a Raiders team with their three best players out and now are not playing up to their ability because they were injured? And now that's supposed to mean the Patriots are legit? Get the hell out of here. That's crazy talk. Yes, congratulations, Patriots and Bill Belichick. You did what you had to do. You better beat that team. You better beat them. Are you kidding me? Their best players are out. Now, if the Bills, and it seems like, I don't know who set up this schedule, but the Bills are getting the Patriots sloppy seconds for the second time this season. After week one, the Dolphins, right? We got that. And now the Raiders play them, and we got the Raiders this week. Look, if Jacobs is healthy, if Darren Waller is healthy and plays, if Henry Ruggs is in that offense, because we saw the impact he has, he brought a lot of pass interference plays because he goes deep. Somebody makes contact trying to cover him, and a flag comes out. He doesn't even have to catch the ball to have an impact.
Anthony,
those three guys.
You know I love you, man. You know I love you, bro. Hey.
But because the Patriots beat that team does not make them legitimate. They're a second-place division team right now.
They're not, and I think the game was closer than the score said at the end, right?
Yes.
It would have been any team's game in the first half.
Yeah.
Just the Raiders were driving me crazy because they would not capitalize on their opportunities, man. It was driving me nuts. Just listen to this stat from that game. Third down efficiency for the Raiders, 3 for 9. 3 for 11 for the Patriots.
33% for the Raiders, bro.
I don't think either of these teams are as good as maybe we thought they were. I mean, the Raiders are better at home, I think. They did beat New Orleans at home. That's something to take into account. But, New England, we just don't know yet. I still don't know. Here's what I do know is Cam Newton is not Tom Brady. There was a lot of missed throws. There was a lot of mistakes on his part, and the Raiders just didn't capitalize. So I think the Bills, when they face them, I think they could capitalize on those opportunities more than the Raiders did. So we'll wait and see.
With the Bills defense, is that what we're saying right now? Well, because we're gonna get to that defense.
We're gonna get there in a minute, but
we're gonna get there.
Thing I think we did learn. The Raiders defense, on the other hand, I don't know if they have any excuses there. I don't know if there were guys who were out or what, but they gave up like almost 250 rushing yards or something. I mean, that's insane. And that tells me, well, when we're preparing for this game, we better see a lot of Devin Singletary up the middle, because that's all they kept doing was just pounding the rock and getting these breakaway runs from every running back they put out there.
Listen, Belichick is the man, okay? And we can't take nothing from Belichick. And it pains me, trust me, it pains me to say that New England is a good team.
He won the game he was supposed to win. There's something to be said in that. Yeah.
But going into the season, we all was like, yo, they trashed. All their players are like, I don't want to deal with COVID. I'm out, right? And all the shuffling that they had in free agency, players leaving, going to Miami or whatever. You just don't expect the Patriots to come out, and I didn't expect them to play this well. I mean, Cam Newton he's been injured for the last 2 years. So I mean, I'm gonna give them their props. And right now they're the king on top of the mountain right now until we can beat them, right? And that's fair. That's fair to say, because we're still Bills fans and we love to have hope, right? Hope is great. And I really do. On paper, the Bills are a better team. Josh Allen is way better. The Bills should definitely win, but we just got to see. We got to see. So we got to take care of these Raiders. But as we're wrapping up what's popping, just to let you guys know, we're moving on, all right? And this is the Inside Slant. The Inside Slant is where we go over anything Bills related, the latest and the greatest with the Buffalo Bills. We could recap the game. We could talk shop or whatever. But the first topic when we get into the game tonight, fellas, and like I said, we're going to talk about this defense. Do the Bills have a problem on defense? Because right now, I mean, this is the defense that we were ranked second or third against the pass last year, and we're near the bottom of the league and against the pass right now, right? And if you were to ask me, yo, is it after 3 games, is the defense going to be really good? Yeah, I would say yeah. Is the offense going to be really good? I was like, maybe not. We don't know, right? Before the season, if I actually 3 games in, if I would have shown you the defensive rankings, hold on, Anthony, hold on, because you're bringing all the fandom in here, all the fandom, and I love it.
What did I say 3 weeks ago? I said that the Bills' offense would be number one of the top 5 of the league, and everybody then called me crazy and called me a homer.
You're still crazy.
What's that look like now?
I say that every year, though.
I thought the defense would. No, I don't say that every year. You could go back and look last year. I didn't say that. I'm not that crazy.
You've only recorded this year, so
I did think the defense. You can look on my Facebook and Twitter. It's all there. I did think the defense was going to be a hell of a lot better than it has been, and I think that still may be, if they do play up to their ability, may limit what we do on offense because we haven't had a situation where we just kept pounding when we could. You know, usually we know Sean McDermott tends to lay off a little bit when we have a big lead. So maybe we'll get that chance this weekend versus the Raiders. But, you know, I said our offense was legit. Look at what we added. Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen got better. You can go back and hear me say it in the preseason. But to say that nobody thought the offense was going to be better, that's crazy. We all thought that. We all thought we were going to take the next step. Now, Josh Allen leading the league in passing, having more touchdowns than the next guy in the league, twice as many basically in the division. That's, you know, he's exceeding expectations for sure. And so is our offense, but he's doing what he's got to do to get the job done and win games. And he won the game in the 4th quarter. We knew he could do that. We knew he was capable of that. So, I mean, these aren't unexpected things. The defense being bad, that's totally unexpected. And part of what I would put the blame on is COVID and the limited offseason. These guys are coming in cold. You know, we preached about continuity and how that favored the Bills because they had continuity, but they're certainly not showing continuity on the field in terms of their defensive play.
All right, hold on.
Other than week 1 versus the Jets.
Eric Spit, I got it. What's up, dude? I got to hear it.
Look,
Come
you guys
on,
are all, the Bills' defense is bad. Yeah, they've given up a lot of yards. Yeah. All the teams' defenses aren't that good right now, right? Because I think probably COVID, no fans, I think, is having an impact. You just don't want to hit an NFL player. That's a hard thing to do. You got to get real hyped up. I think the fans definitely help with that. But let's get real. Like, they played the Jets. Okay, they didn't have their best game, but the Bills were up huge. Okay, like the game was in the bag in the first half. Game 2, your 2 starting linebackers are out. Okay, again, had a big lead, right? And then they let them back in the game because of the broadcast going down and then the rain delay. And then here we are, week 3, and you're going against one of the best offensive minds in the league. And you had a big lead again. So yeah. I just think the defense hasn't been able to – they don't need to carry the team anymore. And I think they're kind of maybe relaxing a little bit, but there will be situations where the defense will have to show up, and I fully expect them to. This is the same defense that we've had. It's the same minds in the coaching room, especially with Leslie Frazier, who we don't talk about enough. He doesn't get enough credit for us. Everyone gives McDermott the credit. Leslie Frazier is a big part of that.
For sure.
I just don't think they've been called on yet. And it's coming. The tough part of the schedule is still coming.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about, the defensive line. I mean, even though they're veterans, I mean, they're still gelling together. I mean, I think that's probably the big thing of the defense right now is that, their run fits are really bad. They're kind of out of position, and to your credit to what you guys are saying, when you don't have your 2 starting linebackers and they're coming off an injury, looking at Tremaine Edmonds, I mean, I pound the table for that dude all day, but he just looks out of place. His angles and those types of things need to be shored up. But these are great players. We have great defensive coordinators, and I would say defensive coordinators because, you got Sean McDermott, obviously, and Leslie Frazier. I think they'll get these guys in place. But last year we were kind of spoiled because we didn't play teams with good quarterbacks, really. We kind of saw it just really wasn't that good. So, the Bills defense got the feast on these guys on lesser teams. I think now, we're going to see a lot better offenses, right? And so the offense is going to have to step up like it has this year thus far. But the defense, we can't expect the defense to carry the team like we have in years past. I do think they'll get it together, though.
I would have appreciated one stop in the second half. I mean, come on, you couldn't stop them at all. Other than the beginning of the half when they on the fourth down when they inexplicably went for it. Thank God, because can you imagine if they had just punted that away in that instead of giving us the field position? Yeah, I mean, Tremaine Edmonds didn't look like himself. We know he was dealing with an injury. He didn't practice all week or didn't practice fully. He had the red non-contact jersey on. So, I mean, maybe there's something to be said about that. Maybe it's just the D-line and the rotation that they all got to get used to each other still with no preseason. But something's got to be done. I mean, like you said, again, you might even be able to get away with that versus the Raiders because I don't think Carr is the quarterback or the offense that Goff and the Rams have. And, but once we get into the heart of these difficult teams, they're going to be coming at you, and you got to be ready for it.
This is our last point on this particular topic, but James Sneeze says, I thought McVay was crazy to run in the third quarter. And let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. So Cover One, we did a fantastic preview of the game, which comes out every week. For those of you who don't know, Eric Turner is a freaking savant when it comes to breaking down film. Seriously, like if you go back and you watch, that preview show, what's taking place the next week, I mean, you will see that he talks about in detail, how McVay's offense, everything builds on top of each other. It all looks the same, but they're doing so much stuff, man. It is a mind-blowing type of offense. So when you really step back and look at it as a fan, when you're watching the game, you're like, shit, man, we're getting jacked. Like, the defense, what the hell's going on here? But when you take a step back, McVay is just a wizard. He is so good in his scheme, and he has players that they do, how like Sean McDermott says, the 1/11th, right? That they do that, they operate that way on offense, man. They are really, really good. So Bills fans, don't get too caught up in the defensive stats. I think everything will kind of mellow out as it goes, right? But for right now, we need the defense to kind of step up just a little bit so we don't have those third quarter meltdowns or so forth from the team. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the offense or the defense, we got to shore it up. But good teams win games like we saw yesterday. And I want to hear about, the pass interference. Yo, look, no. I don't want to hear that. And no one in the chat saying that, but there's people out there. We saw the national media. The pass interference. What about the interception, man? There's so many calls that you can go back and forth on. The refs didn't blow the game, so I don't want to hear it. But
once again, the NFL plays a factor in the game, which is terrible. I say it a lot, but I don't really put the blame on the refs sometimes. I put it on the NFL. Okay, the ref in the game made a bonehead, stupid, worst interception call in NFL history. And I say that because it gets reviewed and then you somehow still call it an interception, even though it's very blatantly not one. And you defend it later on, still trying to claim, we made the right call. It's the right move. When everybody, even my non-Bills fans friends were texting me like, what the hell was that? That was a terrible call. But the NFL, I mean, it's again, that referee made a terrible decision.
For sure.
For sure.
So I think from their perspective, though, is the right call because TV ratings were down.
Exactly. That's what I mean here. It's like they're stepping in saying, we got to do something. The score's too wide here. Let's change.
I don't mind missed calls if they're consistent, right? But the refs just are so inconsistent. One week it's this, next week it's that. I mean, if you just stick to the rules like they're supposed to, I would not have a problem with it, but they don't do that.
They're not following their own rule book. And when it goes to the to the review booth for people to watch the tape and make the call, and they're still getting the call wrong, Let's
not forget the Bills would have 3 more points this year with Tyler Bass. Plus, they would have a playoff win in their belt if the refs just stick to the book.
All right, here is a comment that trumps all comments right now. Lone Wolf says Rams PI, think New Orleans. Hey, we can't sit up here and complain about it benefit our favor, but New Orleans, man, they got the shaft 2 years in a row. So I mean, you're right, bro. Moving on, and before we even do that, here we go. It's Cover One. Become a premium subscriber and join us in the C1 Cover One Slack channel. Here's content membership levels. I'm telling you, man, Cover One really, we got it covered when it comes to content. And if you're one of those types of fans that really wants to get the nitty gritty and the ins and outs, man, you're not gonna find it anywhere else. I'm sorry, but it's just true. It's just true. So Become a member, Cover One Slack channel, subscribe, hit that like, hoof that like, bro. That's what we're here for. We're here for the likes, man. We're here for the fun, right? Moving on. Next, rookie report. So, rookie report, as you guys know, we want to talk about highlights, lowlights from some of our rookies. We saw AJ Epinesa get his first sack, chase down Jared Goff. That was awesome in the first quarter. Yeah, that
showed his speed on that play.
Yeah, he looked a lot like Trent Murphy there, huh?
Oh, Jesus. Now you're just trying to trigger me. Trent Murphy got his ass beat yesterday, okay? And it doesn't take tape review to see that, but we will review the tape on that one. And this was my point in the offseason, too. We're not paying AJ Epinesa $8 million. I don't care if he makes a mistake. But when Trent Murphy, who's getting paid $8 million, looks like he did yesterday, it's disturbing, to say the least. So, you got to get better everywhere. Everybody's got to be better on that defense. So,
I think it's the strategy we predicted with Epinesa is, because there's no preseason, it's going to take him a while to get up to the speed, right?
For sure.
To get used to the speed of the game. And I think we're seeing that, it's not all that complicated.
No, I mean, I was surprised that he played well. I mean, and you know what, his play speed, because when I found out what he ran at the combine, and I know it's, the Olympics for the, little tiny little shorts and all that or whatever, we put too much stock into it. We think about it and we go on and he ran this, he ran that, but his actual play speed, just looking at it yesterday, I was like, damn, like he's got some pickup to his game. I really enjoyed watching him play yesterday. I hope he gets better and he continues to flourish and play more, because I would love to see what his potential is for sure.
It does seem like they're really trying to ramp up his number of plays that he's in, his snaps per game. Let's hope they continue that and he continues to put up. They've done that before with all of their rookies. Usually McDermott likes to kind of slowly hold them back and then work them in. And then if they're a starter by the end of the year, if their play lives up to it, so be it. That would be great to see with Epinesa.
Gabe Davis, somebody made a comment. Gabe is going to be really good wide receiver, really good. Gabe Davis, what do you have? 4 catches for 81 yards or something like that yesterday? Gabriel, he don't want to be called Gabe. Gabriel. Call that man by his name, Gabriel Davis. I don't even like saying that, Gabriel. It's too much. My southern Gabriel. I can't do it, bro. I can't. It's hard for me. You're Gabe right now. Until you watch the show, then you're Gabriel. Or we interview you, you're Gabriel. But today you're Gabe. Okay, anyway. He played well. I think that guy stepped up. Wow. We saw John Brown go down with a calf injury, right? And our rookie played well, man. And this is kind of stuff that we heard and was talked about in training camp that we didn't see, but we saw video clips and people's reporting of it. He's playing pretty well. So, Eric, what are your thoughts on Gabe Davis and the prospects of him being any good?
Gabe Davis, I think, we talked about this in the offseason, him being a 4th-round pick, he might be expected to play, but I didn't expect him to take 74% of the snaps, and play well. So, I mean, credit to him. He put the work in the offseason. Every video you saw of Josh Allen in the offseason, Gabe Davis was there. There's comments coming out that those guys were in the playbook early. So, I mean, he gets all the credit for that. And, what's cool about Gabe Davis is he's basically the backup receiver, but he can back up any position on the line. He's in the slot at times. He's been on the outside. And I think that's what they look for the most as an offense for the Bills with Daboll's system.
Absolutely. Yep. You got to be versatile.
How about the kid's hands, man? He can catch a ball. It seems like a trivial thing to say about a wide receiver, but this is Buffalo we're talking about. We've had issues with this as recent as last year, right? With people dropping the ball. And it just seems like he knows when the ball's coming. He knows how to get his hands in position to catch the ball. I mean, Josh Allen was very, very accurate yesterday, to say the least. He dropped some nice passes in some very narrow windows, but man, I was really impressed that it seemed like every ball that was thrown Gabriel Davis's way, he caught and he made a play with.
Absolutely.
So he's running the routes. He's getting in front of guys. He's open. And even when he's not, he's still able to make a play on the ball and catch it. And wow. One of the in the game too.
One of the themes on this show tonight is confessing your sins. And Greg, I am so happy that you are taking the L on Gabe Davis. Take that L. Wear that L like the scarlet letter. Okay. If your wife asks you why you wearing it, just say, hey, don't even ask, baby. It's just all good, okay? Look, Gabe Davis, I mean, how many people expected Gabe Davis to be what we see today. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of people who are like, you know what, I'm pounding the table, unless you are a UCF fan, would say that Gabe Davis was going to be this good. I really, and you know what, I know he had a great catch on the sideline, but I wasn't more impressed with his run blocking. That it's improving. I mean, if you look at games 1 and 2, his run blocking was terrible, getting owned. But the fact that he stepped up in a big way this past week in the run blocking department, it seems like, was really awesome to see. And the fact that he had that toe drag swag on the sideline with that catch, oh my God, it was a beautiful thing.
Awareness.
It was a beautiful awareness for a rookie to do that was amazing. So
I don't normally like relying on rookies. It scares the hell out of me. But Gabe Davis, I'm good with it, and I think he's benefiting from the depth on the team, right? Having Stephon Diggs, John Brown, Cole Beasley. I mean, Gabe Davis is lining up with like the fourth corner, or linebacker. I mean, that he's going to benefit in this situation.
Yeah, we drafted Gabe Davis, and we were like, "Who? What?" Yeah, most people were like, "Who?"
Well,
what?
This was the wide receiver draft, right? So there was so many names out there, even ones that I recognized, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, this guy, that guy, Gabriel Davis. Where was he on this list? Like, I don't even know who this guy is." So it was definitely a surprise pick by the Bills where they picked him for most of us.
And it's true, his tracking, body control, hands were amazing. I mean, just for him to be able to come in and do that as a rook, dude, it's impressive. And he's only gonna get better, folks. That's the really cool thing. If you go back, if you look at the pre-draft, I saw an interview with him and Brandon Marshall. And Brandon Marshall pounds the table for Gabe Davis. I know they come from the same school and so forth. So guys are going to do that with their alums, But the fact that, what they were talking about in that interview is actually showing up on the tape is really cool to see, because if you go back and look at the UCF tape, they didn't ask him to do that much. You just kind of see him, catching deep balls and quick slants and taking it to the house. But in Dable's system, like you said, Eric, you have to be able to play all positions. You have to know what's going on. And the route tree is a lot bigger, coming into the NFL. So it's really cool to see him flourish and get better as the weeks go on. Okay, so you guys are like on me about this kicker stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Pitt 27, dog. Bass hit everything too. Yeah, Bass. Eric hates Brandon Bass. Can y'all tell him?
Master. Yes.
The Bass Master was tearing some shit up on the extra points. Okay,
man.
Eric,
it was beautiful.
I'm giving you the floor to defend yourself, because you got to take that L on Bass, bro.
Cool. Hey, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Okay, we do have some Monday night games coming up, big time games, and if let's not forget the Bills went for it on 4th and 9 instead of kicking the ball to go to overtime. I wonder why.
Hold on, I gotta interrupt you, because we got a super chat from Greg. He goes, "Wow, the host of the other Cover One show is really handsome." Oh, and you super chat.
Oh, you mean the other? He must mean the other Anthony. Yeah, that's
look,
disguised coverage on Wednesdays.
Greg is he's pumping himself up, right? We know Greg to do this. In our chat today, he was like, we're talking about egos and how we need to be humble, right? Not Greg. Greg, where's Aaron? Aaron was, these guys are big personalities, right? So they're gonna speak their truth or what they think is truth. But Greg, man, you're a handsome dude, so absolutely. Tomorrow, Greg and Aaron are doing a really important show. We are going to be on Tuesdays from not this week, but the next week. We'll be on Tuesday nights. But we already had something planned on the network, so that's why we're on Monday tonight. Greg and Aaron will be on tomorrow night. They're gonna be bringing it. So you're gonna definitely want to come right here tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, because they're gonna be getting it. So yeah, Greg's a handsome dude, whatever. He ain't got nothing on me though. I mean, the chocolate. I mean, we tired of the vanilla, bro. We on to something new now, man. All right. Here we go. Now, here we go to the next one. Josh Allen enters the chat. Okay, so this is the reason why we have you here tonight. Okay, because we all know the narrative of Josh Allen and what everybody thinks they know about Josh Allen. Now, if you're not from Wyoming, okay, if you're not Chris Sims or most that or Mel Kiper Jr., you had negative thoughts about Josh Allen. It's to confess your sins. This is a safe place, people. This is a safe place where we can come together. Hold on. Let me get my spiel, dog. Let me get my spiel before I let you go into this. Because I was one of the haters. Well, I was skeptical, okay? I was skeptical, right? Because we're like, oh my God, Josh Allen, like this dude can't fucking hit the side of a barn, right? But this year he's balling out. And the fact that he has the numbers to prove it, people are still not giving this man credit. Anthony, I'm gonna let you take the floor on this because you know you got something to say, my guy.
Well, I was just gonna set it up for Eric basically here, because let me tell you, when we drafted that draft, before the draft, everybody and their mother asked, you know, who do you think the Bills are gonna pick? Who do you want the Bills to pick? And you know what I said? My response was, whoever they pick is who I believe in. And that's because I was at that point in time trusting the process. I didn't care who they ended up with. I just said, whoever they pick, I believe in that guy, right? Because that wasn't even, and that's just speaking about after Sean McDermott proved it to the Buffalo Bills. Because let me tell you, over the last 25 years, we've had a lot of coaches come in and say, I'm going to change it. Here's how we're going to make it better. And we've all had to hitch our post to that wagon and just say, okay, here we go. All right, it's this coach is going to turn it around. Sean McDermott put his money where his mouth is and made the playoffs with a team that was rebuilding. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, these guys know what they're doing. Whoever they pick is who I'm going to say I believe in. And not only that, but once Josh Allen came to play, he improved every year. And this is what I've constantly said about Allen. Anybody who's been hating on Allen over the 2 years, he got better after his rookie year. He got better now after his second year. He's done nothing but improve in every category, in every way. There is no statistical stat out there that shows that Josh Allen is digressing.
Okay,
however,
hold up.
There also were the haters like you, Sterling, who said, don't. Josh Allen is trash.
Yeah.
I don't know why they picked him. They should have picked somebody else. So that's the low point. I'm the middle point, and the high point is my guy Eric Brown, because he was on Josh Allen.
I think Anthony, that was the nicest answer I've ever heard in that question.
Wow.
Way to just go around the whole situation.
You got to give the props where the props are due.
We're gonna do that. Hold on, we got to go to a comment because this is hilarious. Look, I was in Dallas when we drafted Josh. My brother and I screamed, "You picked the wrong Josh."
Most people did.
Everybody was on that. Like,
Takes
except
a
for
lot
Eric.
to admit that. Takes a lot to admit that, so I respect that for sure.
I do. Hey, confess your sins. This is a safe place. I'm the priest. And
I will tell you one thing about that,
Go ahead.
There was one guy I didn't want, and you can guess who that was. Baker Mayfield. I wanted nothing to do with that guy. I'm like, God, just don't pick Baker Mayfield. Anybody else I'm fine with, but don't pick that guy. So I'm glad they didn't end up with him. But
Anthony is a good soldier, man. He's like, whatever you guys decide to do, and I'm gonna roll with it. His fandom knows no end.
Yeah, that's how you end up with Trent Edwards and stuff.
No, it's not blind trust though.
And it's Peterman jersey.
Blind trust.
Peterman.
I didn't blind trust the other coaches because I learned. I didn't blind trust McDermott either. He came in saying, I said when they hired him, who the hell is this guy? A defensive coach from Carolina? Great, not exactly the name I thought we were going to bring in. And then he said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna bring in the process, and we're gonna do." And I said again, "That's a load of horse crap. We've heard that before. Here we go again. What are they going to do differently?" But then he turned the team that we had just seen under Rex Ryan and turned that into a playoff team. And unbelievably turned everything around.
We don't need a history lesson.
Yeah,
okay?
Here we go. This is funny though. Look, Anthony sounds like a random uneducated fan, too loyal.
It's not about the loyalty. It's not about that.
Okay.
It's about trusting McDermott and being what they did.
Trust the process. Got it. Go ahead.
I'm just so tired of this argument because I've been pounding the table for how long, Sterling?
For
our
years,
first show we ever did, I was pounding the table for Josh Allen, right? The grit, the size, the arm strength, all that stuff, right? But you got to see the guy has the chip on the shoulder and he wants it so bad.
Yes.
And that's the number one thing that I see in Josh Allen. And look, it's working out. But this national narrative, I'm just so tired of hearing it. The coaching staff is good. Look at what they did with Josh Allen. The coordinator's going to be a head coach. Buffalo has weapons now. So, they're going to be good. Oh, yeah, and Jordan Palmer, he was good. No, it's time to give Josh Allen credit, right? He put the work in to get better every single offseason. He comes to work every single day, lays it on the line for his team. Josh needs credit. The Bills have good resources to develop a quarterback, but the quarterback has to take advantage of those. Not every person would take advantage of that, right? Good teams have draft busts too. So I'm just so tired of that argument. And the national media just needs to recognize that Josh Allen is the real deal. And it's year 3, Sterling. It's year 3. What'd we say?
3 years.
Year 3.
They keep moving the needle, though, right? It's all about, oh, it's his accuracy. He can't be accurate. All of a sudden, he's more accurate. Oh, no, it's his decision making. His decisions making bad. Oh, all of a sudden, he turned that around, and now he's not turning the ball over, right? Oh, it's now he's a running quarterback and not a passing quarterback. Well, now he's throwing for 3 straight games over 300 yards. The guy isn't going to convert everybody. There's still people out there saying, oh, Josh Allen's trash and he's not going to be good.
Just last week, I heard a couple, right? Well, Josh still missed some throws. He had a couple bad decisions, and Stephon Diggs bailed him out.
Yes,
it's look, you don't think Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams don't bail out their quarterback? Come on. It's more impressive that Josh got to 10 wins with that team they had last year on offense, but every elite quarterback has weapons. And they still nobody's taken away from Pat Mahomes, but he has more weapons than a lot of quarterbacks. Yep. And he has a very successful head coach who's never had a bad quarterback.
What's funny, I heard Pat McAfee talk about the Bills' run game. We're like, what Bills game are you watching? Because the Bills, we haven't had a run game. Josh's whole offense right now. I mean, when you look at it, we haven't had a great run game this year. Because who the hell knows why? I mean, but Josh has been the offense, and so what more does a man have to do? What more does he have to do?
Well, I'll tell you one thing he will have to do, because we started the show talking about Carson Wentz, right? And Carson Wentz looks right now like a flash in the pan, right? He looks like, he had one good year. He got hurt. He could have won the Super Bowl. Somebody else won it for them. But he's the man. They gave him the giant contract and made him the franchise guy. And now he's come out and laid goose eggs. And sure, there's other factors involved there and factors that the Bills hopefully have improved on better and built on better than the Eagles have in their situation. But he does have to maintain consistency through the year, into the playoffs, have a good run, and in the next year too. And look, nobody here is expecting Josh Allen to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in every single game like he has so far to start this season. And that would be wildly crazy to expect that. But as I said previously, the one thing Josh Allen has shown is constant improvement. He's been nothing but a linear trend in the right direction. Unlike Carson Wentz, who had his injury and then hasn't come back and become himself. And, he's had 3 games and shown no growth and a regression, if anything. It's that type of consistency that I love most about Josh Allen. He's done nothing but improve. And from day one, he said the right things and he's done the right things. He said that fumbling issue, that turnover issue, those decision makings, those are on me. I got to get better. And then he got better. So the guy can do what he puts his mind to.
Absolutely. And you got to keep in mind a good soul that we all know, Eric down there, said it's the cost of doing business when you got Josh Allen, because
not many quarterbacks are running backs too, right? So it's the cost of doing business in that area.
That's the cost of doing business, and you're going to have to take that with Josh Allen. But the one of the cool things that I enjoy in watching Josh Allen is that he just gets it. I mean, it's so unorthodox the way he plays quarterback, because it's not conventional. I mean, the fact that you're 6'5" and so powerful and so strong, people were comparing him to Big Ben, and I'm like, Big Ben never had this athleticism that Josh Allen has, right? But it's so refreshing to see a Bills quarterback just be able to control an offense, be able to execute an offense outside of Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? Josh Allen, people forget this, but Josh Allen's Wonderlic score, and Wonderlic doesn't tell the whole story, but Josh Allen's Wonderlic score was through the roof. This guy can process the NFL offense, but we get so caught up in the idea of how raw he was or is when he came out of college. And the fact that he's blossoming into this elite quarterback right before our eyes is really cool. Sunday, 3rd and 22, right? Game's on the line, man. You're 3rd and 22, and Aaron Donald's in front of you. You hike the ball, look to your left, look to your right. You start rolling to the right. There's a sea of 4 Rams defenders. He throws the guy open, dude, by rolling to the right and hitting him right in the middle of the zone. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, just it's the little things, man. It's the little intricacies of how he's playing, how he's processing the game, how he's getting up to the line, recognizing coverages, changing the play. Like when he threw the touchdown, the screen pass to John Brown in week 1, he changed the play twice based off of coverage. I mean, just to see that growth, you have to be excited, man. You got to be excited. Josh Allen, I'm telling you, he may never be an MVP. He may never win the MVP, may not. But I'm telling you right now, no one can sit here and say Josh Allen isn't playing like he's the second best quarterback in the league right now. You cannot say that, or third, because you could throw Aaron Rodgers in there too, right? But those are the top 3 quarterbacks in 3 weeks that we've seen thus far in the NFL. And the narrative's got to die, man. People, hey, confess your sins. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a safe place.
A lot of people miss that. It's okay. It's all right.
So my question for you guys tonight. Now we kind of hit on that. We got that out of the way. Let's talk about, is this something that he can continue to do moving forward? Okay. Because, as the season progresses, things get a little tight, defenses kind of learn what you're doing schematically. They make game plans, based on their personnel and so forth. Is this something that we're going to continue to see, or is this just a 5-game run? Because we've seen like Trent Edwards do something like this, not to this stats, but getting wins and so forth. Can Josh Allen continue this rapid pace?
I think what he's shown us in these first 3 games that were key to me, his footwork has been phenomenal. He's actually staying in the pocket, setting his feet, throwing the pass, and he's seeing the field better. So I don't think any of that is going to change. No defense is going to be able to affect how Josh Allen goes through his motion, gets his footwork. And against the Dolphins, I said, he's got a lot of time. And he really took advantage of that time and let the ball go when people got open. And I said, versus the Rams, he's got to be quicker. But he still was able to process it, make a play, roll out when he needed to, set his feet. And man, I will say he threaded the needle in this game a couple of times where the window was about the size of the football and Josh Allen threw the ball right where it needed to be. And that just made me say unbelievably, like, wow, that is the type of thing that I want to see going forward. And again, I don't think any defense is going to be able to scheme against that. I'm not expecting Josh Allen to put up 300 yards every game. That's crazy talk. And hopefully we can get the run game going, especially against this Raiders team we're about to face.
Right.
Because we just saw that New England put up almost 250 rushing yards against them. So we're not going to rely on Josh's arm all the time. But the fact of the matter is he can get it done. And in the fourth quarter, I would argue there's no better quarterback in the NFL right now than Josh Allen in the fourth quarter. When you need a game-winning drive, I want Josh Allen.
It's definitely got the clutch gene for sure. But I think he definitely continues to get better because, the last 14 games got something like 33 touchdowns, 2.5 picks. We're going to call that one last week a half.
Can we not even call it a half?
Let's go back 15 games. He only got, 2.5 picks. He's building off what he did last year. Like we said early in the offseason, he's seen what he has to see. A devastating loss in the playoffs. He played in big games to get the team in the playoffs. I think he's just going to get better from here. In this year's schedule, we're going to know because they're playing the best teams in the NFL. So
they are for sure.
We're going to know exactly where this team's at by the end of the season.
I wanted to throw this stat up there. Allen completing 77.4% versus the zone. That's 6th best in the NFL. 66.2 versus man. That's also 6th best in the NFL. Guys, Josh Allen's dealing. He is dealing. One of my favorite plays yesterday, when he hit Cole Beasley on that rope on the sideline. That was a beautiful throw. Josh Allen, dude, there's not. I don't even know. It feels so. Doesn't it feel weird talking about because we would. I would always go crazy over other teams' quarterbacks. Damn, did you see? Now it's like, yo, that's my quarterback, yo. That's our guy. We never, outside of Jim Kelly and a couple bucket throws from Tyrod Taylor, we haven't been able to say, damn, that's our quarterback. You're talking about us. Josh Allen is on the pace to be on the Madden cover. I know Madden's trash. But shit, when was the last time we had a Bills player on the Madden cover? I'll wait. In the words of Cat Williams, I'll wait. We ain't never had that.
Never.
We ain't never had it. How cool would it be to have Josh Allen on Madden 21?
Let's go.
Shit. Hey.
Maybe they'd increased his rankings, but his numbers.
We got to get that 500 million.
Now?
Get that 500 million ready.
And to Anthony, to your point, Allen in the fourth quarter, 71%. 11 yards per attempt. Do y'all know how hard that is? 11 yards per attempt in the fourth quarter. If you want to talk about the epitome of clutch, Josh Allen is the epitome of clutch. You know what? It's like, can we come up with a superhero moniker for Josh Allen? Because he needs a superhero alter ego. Because in the fourth quarter, the guy just turns into this animal. I mean, who in their right effing mind? Think about this. Hold on. Think about this. It's the fourth quarter, and you roll out, and you stiff arm 3 LA Rams. 3, and Aaron Donald's coming. I don't know if y'all know this, but Aaron Donald's a freak athlete. That man's scary. That man is scary. Okay. And I know Josh got the face mask penalty. How many times have you seen a quarterback get a face mask penalty? Come on, bro. Refs miss me on that.
And then an unsportsmanlike penalty. How many times have you seen Brady scream at the ref? Josh must have said some crazy shit.
Don't even.
He must have.
Probably swore. Are you kidding me?
We don't do this on the effing farm. We don't do this on the farm. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows?
Right there.
Hey, here we go. The Jackal. Josh the Jackal Allen. Hey, we need to come up with something.
Every fourth quarter, we say it at the bar. Fourth quarter is Josh Allen quarter. That's it. You know he's going to make it happen.
Because it's definitely not the third quarter. We know that.
Yeah.
It's got to be the fourth because it's definitely not the third.
All right. Okay.
So I got one more thing on Josh.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
Go ahead. And we're going to keep it moving. Go ahead.
I don't know if anyone's mentioned this yet, but you know who he's playing this week, right? Derek Carr.
Oh, yeah.
We've all seen that photo where Josh got separated with groups, right? The elite quarterbacks back when they were, high school age, right, in camp. Derek Carr was going with the elite players. Josh Allen got separated. He went with the rest of the group because nobody knew who he was, right? And he's not going to forget that. Josh always wanted to go to Fresno State. That's where Derek Carr played.
Oh,
I'm just saying that's not going to go away. So I expect Josh to have a huge game this week.
Jason Swan, bro.
What's up?
Thank you for watching the show. But not only that, man, you're contributing. You're contributing, bro. My guy Jason says, back up the Brinks truck for Allen.
Gonna get paid, man.
Yep.
He's gonna get
back
paid.
it up.
It's time.
Is it time? Is it time to back up the Brinks truck?
Well, what do you need to see to say this guy's our quarterback for the next X amount of years? What do you need to see? I want a playoff win. That'd be nice.
And the longer you wait, that price only goes up, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to risk going back to the way it was before Josh Allen, so I'll just pay the guy. Just pay him. It's time.
It's time to pay the guy. You got to pay the man. I mean, when it's time to pay him, but if he keeps up this pace, he's going to get a sizable contract, not Patrick Mahomes contract level. I mean, but he should come in the range somewhere around there. If he plays at this pace, a Super Bowl appearance or win for the Bills it's there, man. It's there. We got another one, Joe Nelson, bro. Joe, I love that picture, bro.
Yeah,
the old Buffalo Bills from the 60s.
Yeah.
You guys worried about how long Josh has been holding on to the ball? Are we worried about that? Yeah, I worry about that. But like we always say here, it's the cost of doing business. That's what Josh Allen does. He's a playmaker, and we have to let Josh be him. We have to let him be the player that he's supposed to be, that he wants to be. And sometimes, yes, he should definitely get rid of the ball, make better decisions, like throwing it up to Tyler Croft, probably ill-advised. But I love the fact that he's willing to make a play. And when you're around a player like that, there is not a game that you feel like you can't win, right? So yeah, I do worry about Josh holding on to the ball, but you have to do it in context, right? Because context is everything. When we talk about the Bills and football and so forth, context is everything. So yeah, should he give the ball up sooner? Absolutely, sometimes. But then other times, like, yo, dude, make a play because there's nothing else there. You guys got any thoughts on that?
If you're up 3 scores, you don't need to be stiff arming defensive ends, right?
Right.
I mean, you can stiff arm Jalen Ramsey anytime, but I mean, I'm okay with that. But
Well,
like, I wouldn't. It's all situational, right? If you're on the last drive of the game, you need to make a play. Josh Allen, just do your thing, man. We'll take the risk, right? But if you're up 3 scores, he needs to be a little more conservative, in my opinion.
Part of what I said his rookie year, right, was dude has to learn to take a sack, right? Hold on to the ball and go down when the guys are in your face. Just go down, because the fact of the matter is you're not going to have all day, every day to throw the ball, and you can't just heave it up, which is a lot of what he did in his rookie year. When guys were coming at him, he'd see a receiver and he'd just throw it up and get intercepted, right? But he did learn from that.
Absolutely.
So holding on to the ball can be a good thing. And like I said earlier, he's really showed in the Dolphins game when he had the time, he sat in the pocket for like 8 seconds and threw the ball accurately. And then this game, we knew he wasn't going to have as much time with guys like Aaron Donald and that in the Rams defensive line out there. So,
Absolutely.
But he was still able to use that time in the pocket, find it and release the ball and get it to the receiver when he needed to. So I think he's really, really taken a gigantic step in his career in terms of holding on to the ball.
Allen going to do Allen things. That's the cost of doing business, folks.
That is the cost of doing business.
You got a freak athlete quarterback who's really coming on, and the cost of doing business, he's going to fumble once in a while. I'm good with it. Like we said,
I am too.
First 3 years of Tom Brady's career, double-digit fumbles, right? Got a Super Bowl or 2, right? Brett Favre's, career high in fumbles was 16 in 2001. The team won 12 games, and he got in the Pro Bowl. I mean, cost of doing business.
We couldn't go a full episode without you bringing up that name. Come on, man.
Oh, come on, man.
Hey. I appreciate that, Eric. Okay. All right. So here we go.
Makes you feel good about today, Anthony.
It does. It does.
Here we are.
What's the take? This is the part of the show where, it's driven by you guys. So in the comment section, if there is a question that you want us to tackle, to answer, by all means, fire away. Okay. We're going to fire away here. And we'll get it started with something that I want to bring up. Playing against, okay, so this week we got the Raiders. All right, we don't know we don't know the injury report and so forth, who's going to be playing for the Raiders. They're going to have all their weapons. I do like what New England did with Darren Waller. They sent so many different people at him. He is Darren Waller, and then they got a great running back in Jacobs. But those are the two keys to the offense. Derek Carr doesn't scare me as a quarterback. What do you guys think? In the chat, what do you guys think? How are the Bills going to fare this week against the Raiders? I mean, can we trust the defense to get out to a good lead and hold it, or the offense to even keep pounding them and not let up in the third quarter like we usually do? What do you guys think?
Well, I think you're going to get the Raiders' best shot this week because they are at home. They did get embarrassed up in New England. I mean, the score was ugly at the end, and they didn't play well. It's a bounce-back league. I expect them to be coached hard this week, and I think on offense, the Raiders can do some damage. The defense has got to play better.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things I think what I'm looking forward to and seeing is you got to run the ball. You saw what New England did in terms of running the ball to the tune of over 200 yards on the ground, and we know that sometimes Brian Daboll can get a little cute calling plays, right? And we know that these first 3 games have been fully reliant on the pass. Singletary had a pretty good game this week in terms of his yards per carry and what he could do and catching the ball as well. But I really think we have to establish that run game. We don't know if Zach Moss is going to be back or not, but it doesn't matter. You got to pound the rock with Singletary then and get Yeldon in there a little more. Ooh, it pains me to say that, but you got to run the ball if that's what's working. Hell, let Josh Allen run if that's what you want to do and that's going to work for you.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Justin, not to cut you off, but this is a great question. It says, what do you guys think about the story today? Erie County lobbying the state for fans at the next home game. Yo, that is huge.
Yes.
Okay. And let me break it down for you. Okay. We saw the Miami Dolphins, well, not the Dolphins, but the state of Florida, the Republic of Florida, come out and say that they're lifting all the COVID restrictions because they have a Super Bowl that the Dolphins will not be attending in February. So the Dolphins, we know if they lift the COVID restrictions, Dolphin fans still aren't going to attend the games because they didn't when COVID wasn't even a thing, right? But we have our own New York right? We live in Denver, but New York and the Grand and the Big Apple and everything that's New York, they're saying, look, yeah, we want Bills fans in the stadium. Is that something that we can get done? Because I know there's a game in week 5 against the Kansas City Chiefs that we're going to need Bills Mafia in there heavy as much as we can get in there.
Well, I mean, the season ticket holders come to mind for me. It's gone all these years of buying season tickets and just not coming through, the playoff drought, all that stuff, getting to the playoffs, losing. This year is just different, right? Mm-hmm. The Bills are expected to win 12 games this year. They're expected to win the division. And the fact that the fans can't share that is just kills me.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm a scientist, right? And I'm all about facts and data and presenting your case with facts and data. And I think Erie County has that available to them now, right? They can bring to New York State and say, look, here's all these other stadiums across the NFL. Here's what percentage they're allowing in. Here's the protocols they're using for safety. Here's what the NFL itself has done. And the NFL has had one case of COVID in the entire start of the season so far. And there hasn't been major issues in terms of letting fans in, not that have been made public anyway. So we don't know. Maybe there's something going on. But the fact that all of these other stadiums are letting people in a limited capacity and are having no issues, and they're still, allowed to play the games and move forward, you got to believe that that's the biggest argument for, okay, come on, our economy needs this too. Let us do some of this too.
You're a scientist, Anthony. Like, there's a way to do this safely.
Yes,
right? The Bills Stadium is outside in the elements. I mean, a 10% of the stadium capacity, they can be more than 6 feet away.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to work every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a way to do it safely. And do you agree?
There's a way to do it safely, man. And you have to. And, there is the selfish side of me that says, let's do this. But then you have to look at, all the factors where, you have people, who are susceptible to the virus. And those things are important too. But I think you can have both worlds. I don't think you can have as many people as you want in there, but you can sprinkle in some. And we're seeing that it's working in some of those cities. So it's really cool to see because for a while there, we didn't even think we were going to have football this year.
Yeah.
But hey, the Kansas City Chiefs game, can we get some fans in there? That's all I'm saying. We need something there. And look, we're here in Denver. Denver's allowing fans at the stadium now, although they started the season, the first 2 games, they weren't allowed to have fans. And now they slowly are incorporating, I think it was something like 5,000 people. So a tiny number, but still absolutely
people can get in. And the fact that you're allowing the fans that access, you got to do it everywhere. The NFL has to come up with a universal policy here too. New York State is probably the biggest obstacle to overcome in this, but the NFL should already have a plan together saying, here's the maximum capacity we're going to allow. Here's what minimum restrictions you must have, to allow it to be a safe environment.
All right.
And I'm not even sure of what those are, but they should have a plan.
I think they will. Here we go. I'm starting to form this feeling that we will pick off Carr 2 to 3 times this game. I would love to see that. I would love to see the defense get on track. This is the game that that defense can get on track.
That is not far-fetched at all. I mean, Derek Carr, he's in the same category for me as Kirk Cousins. He just doesn't have the arm strength, in my opinion. He's done some good things. I think their offensive scheme's good in Las Vegas, but look, they didn't pass the ball a ton versus the Patriots. They didn't attack the secondary anyways. I mean, I don't even know what Waller's stats were, but it seemed like he was absent from the game. So, I think that's definitely realistic at 2 or 3 interceptions, against Derek Carr.
That would be huge because what we've seen is our defense has been able to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, which is great, but that pressure hasn't resulted in an abnormal number of sacks or turnovers at this point. So I would love to see that against Derek Carr. I think he is vulnerable to that, like Eric just said. So I would love to see that. Shout out to Levi Wallace, by the way, for that.
Oh yeah, thank you for showing up.
Man, that was a great catch in that game, in the interception he had off of Goff. But we need to see more of that. The bottom line is our defense has to step up, like we said earlier, and turnovers are the best way to do that. You get the ball back. Yeah, it's the best thing you can do.
And I think you get pressure on Derek Carr. He looked very uncomfortable with pressure. He's not very good in the pocket, in my opinion. But like I said, it's a bounce-back league. They're going to coach up this week, and they are playing at home. So,
yeah. Gruden's a good coach, man. And you know what? I love the fact that we had Milano on Higbee a lot of the times this past Sunday, because that is a great test for what's coming this week. And Darren Waller's a great athlete. He's a good tight end. He's a really good young tight end. You know, the key to stopping the Raiders, man, you gotta your run fits have to be on point, and you're gonna have to stop, you know, their tight end. You do that, it's a wrap. I mean, he ain't gonna do, you know, quarterback's not gonna do too much. Derek Carr, I mean, he's a good backup. I mean, is he starting caliber quarterback?
They're giving him a chance.
I think I think he's as good as he's going to get. I don't think he's going to get any better. I mean, he's kind of reached his ceiling, kind of like when we talk about Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is as good as he's going to get. Seriously. And I think, you know, Derek Carr is the same way, man. They're limited physically. I mean, in today's NFL, you have to be able to do, you know, you have to be able to be physically gifted to be able to move around and to make things happen. And if you're not that, it's going to be tough for you to stay in this kind of league.
Well, yeah, and I think for the Raiders, I think they want to move on, but you need the opportunity. They've been drafting at 15. You're not going to get a franchise guy in the draft unless you're top 5 or top 10, probably.
Right.
Well, they had a lot of capital that they could have moved up if they wanted to get a quarterback.
But they also had a ton of needs.
They would, but they didn't. So they stayed low and they got other positions of need. That's true. They did have a lot of needs. I was going to say that the one thing I'm most worried about after watching the Rams running game against the Bills is Jacobs and what he's going to do if he's fully healthy and playing in this game.
I mean, Jacob,
if they're running backs, you know, normally the Rams are working with 3 solid running backs that they're rotating in. You can't really get a look. 2 of them were injured and they're down to 1, and he was still running all over us. So we got to clean that up for sure this week. You can't allow it. You know they're going to try and power run. You're going to have to stop him.
Hey, my guy Joe Miller coming in. He goes, you need to be physically gifted and have a champ stamp.
Yeah.
So close, Anthony. So close. You know what, Joe Miller?
Not just a stamp, a champ stamp.
A champ stamp. Anthony has a champ stamp. And Joe, my friend, you are absolutely right. Okay. You are absolutely right about that guy, Anthony, up there. Hey, but you know what? So me and the wife, you know, we went to Vegas 3-4 weeks ago. I got to see the Death Star, bro. And let me tell you, that stadium, dude, is, oh my God, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Okay, so I love everything Star Wars. And so just to see a stadium that just like looks like the Death Star, you're like, oh my God. Like the nerd in me just comes out, dude. It's just like I turn straight to Steve Urkel, bro. Straight nerd him. just like fanboying out over there. So it was really cool. So I really do. It'd be nice to see the Bills be in Vegas and kind of do the whole Vegas thing and the Death Star. And
you know who else likes nice stadiums?
Who that?
Josh Allen.
How you figure that?
Let's remember the Vikings game his rookie year.
Yeah.
Ooh, Josh Allen shows up. Dallas comes to mind last year. Nice stadium, spotlight. I think Josh likes new stadiums.
That's some solid analysis right there, Eric. I didn't even think of that, but you're right. He does like the new nice stadiums. Big Hose Buffalo Rosario. Shout out from South Florida, my guy. Hey,
what's going on, my dude? Heck yeah, bro. That's a big ass fish you got there, my dude. That's dope. South Florida's in the house. And I think somebody was in Australia was in here earlier. I was meaning to put your comment up, but if you're still there, man, please comment on that because I would love to highlight you, man. If you're watching us from you're an Aussie, you're watching us, dude. Right on, bro. That's just dope. Here we go. So why are we talking about Thanksgiving in the chat, man? What can somebody
talk about the Dallas game? Josh Allen in big stadiums.
Okay, that was fun. That was fun. That was a great game. So yeah, to your point, Eric. Hey, Josh Allen's gonna ball out. He's gonna ball out, and we gotta expect big things from Josh Allen and his Bills. I mean, and we're gonna close with this. We're gonna close with this comment or idea or something to think about moving forward. And those of you in the chat, feel free to chime in on this, but where were you guys when you thought the Bills could make a deep, legit playoff run? I'm not talking about when, we made the playoffs last year. We know we weren't going to go anywhere. I mean, it was kind of like, yeah, we're happy we're there. We're making steps. All right. The Tyrod year, dude, you talk about happy to be there. we're just like, yeah, we're gonna get smoked, but it's okay. We're in the playoffs. The drought is over.
We drew a pretty good matchup in Jacksonville, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I went to the game. Yeah.
Yeah, you were there. Like, when you think of this Bills team, what is the sky's the limit, man? Where were you the last time you thought the Bills were this good? Like, where were you guys? Because I was a little kid. It was.
You mean 2 months ago, or you?
Are we talking like, yeah, we know they're good, or like we're hopeful?
They're good, and we're hopeful that they can make a deep playoff run. Because Super Bowl is cute to say. Oh yeah, the Bills can make it to the Super Bowl.
Drew Bledsoe, maybe. I'd say that was the last time that I honestly felt, hey, this team's really good. And I mean, I was really young then too. But my favorite player, was Doug Flutie. But I don't even know that I was like super confident that we could make a deep playoff run with Doug Flutie. So I'd say the last time I really felt that way was Drew Bledsoe. That's a long time ago.
Oh, Jeff King says 1990, bro.
Dude,
I was like a little dude.
I mean, 2011, the Bills went 4-1, right? They paid Fitzpatrick. They beat New England. I mean, I thought they were good at that time. I didn't think they would end up 6-10.
1999. I mean, oh my gosh. Brutal. Oh, here we go. Look, Murray Daniel. Yeah, mate. I love you guys.
Hey,
Cares Australia. That's what's up, man. That is really cool. Thank you for watching the show. And tune in to all Cover One content, man. Like I said, we're giving you the goods. Our guys will be taking over tomorrow on Tuesday night, but we're here every Tuesday after that. So look, it's on and popping. Oh, here we go. Mike Trotter versus the Titans 99, Music City Miracle. Who cried at that game? Because I cried at that game.
Geez,
I cried watching that. I cried. Anthony, every year. Hey, Gordon.
Not.
Hey, Gordon. Hey, Gordon. Gordon's batting 1,000 tonight. That every comment.
Man, let me tell you, when we hired Rex Ryan, I was so upset. I just literally was like, because I wanted to say we were going to be like built up and better and good. And then I hired Rex Ryan, and I was just, Rex Ryan. He's he's perennial 8-8 guy.
It's hard to say the Bills are going to throw for 400 yards when Rex Ryan's a coach.
Exactly.
I'm sure Anthony tried though.
I know.
I bet you I did, but I tried to believe, but it's too hard at that point.
Or when Nate Peterman got the starting gig, we were going deep.
Oh my gosh. Hey, CR says you guys are awesome. Thank you, CR, for tuning in, man. We appreciate it. Hey, look at this one. Is that hold on? Is that a rag or an adult diaper on that man's head? He goes, I wasn't alive the last time there were expectations. That man is young. He could be 22, right? Yeah. But that man's young. He don't know what it's like, bro. He don't know what it's like. Oh, here we go. Look. I follow Greg Thompson partly because of his analysis, but mainly because he is so handsome. Miss me on the Greg Thompson being handsome. Have you seen this baby? Okay, have you seen it? Okay, have you seen my guy Anthony up there in that suit? Yeah. That man,
clean up well,
head to toe, right?
What was that say? A sharp dressed man, ZZ Top. That's my guy Anthony up there, bro. But anyway, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. Yo, we had so much fun. This has been really cool. I don't know if you guys know this, but the comments and all that, reading that stuff, man, it fuels me. It really validates what we do. It's just cool. We're part of the Cover One Network now. And we're just thankful that you guys have tuned in and joined with us. For all our new Cover One fans, we appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. We're going to be giving you the goods every single Tuesday night, so you guys can come and hang out with us. We're not too serious here. We make jokes, we laugh, we dive into some things that are very intricate about the Bills and the NFL. But this is the time to just let loose, man, because we got a whole world that's crazy, full of crazy shit and stuff happening all the time. But anyway, man, this is the Hoof Live. We love you guys. We love you so much, and we're out of here. Peace.
Later.
Go Bills.